Good morning, YouTube. Hey, we're about to take off on our second trip. This will be our first long trip. We got her all washed up, or I got her all washed up this morning, and we got her packed up and we're ready to roll. So you're heading out. Gonna go see some friends in Missouri. Just stand by and we'll update you as we go. Hopefully there's nothing to update you on, but we'll see. All right, let's roll. Didn't make it down the road. Cow's out. Got to get back out back into his yard. There he goes. He's in there. All right, back in business. He's just out for a walk. There's a bull too, so looks like. All right, so I had a communication loss with the air ride on the rear. I just pulled over to the side of the road in a church parking lot, and I put it in park mode and turned it off, and then turned it back on and put it back in travel mode, and it cleared. So that's good. So we're back on the road. I don't know what that was all about. It's hard to say, but it says, I think that was communication loss. All three lights on both sides. Whoa, rip. Engine brake. Whoa. These lights change fast, boy. But anyway, it cleared, so that's good. Back on the road again. We're outside of Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And it looks like we got a reservation at Scott Air Force Base, so that's where we stay tonight. So that's good. So see you there. If you're there. Yikes. Tell we're getting close to the base. I don't know if you can see that or not. Tanker static display. Chinatown or Chi-Town Hustler. Little lake, pretty. God, it's a lot more active than me. Looks like there's a big cookout going on out there. Spots 1 through 12, straight ahead. Alright. Busy little cookout there. Must be a squadron cookout. This guy's flashing his lights at me, but I don't know where he's going. What is it? What number is it?
5.
Do you see 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright YouTube, hey, we had a great time here at Scott Air Force Base last night. It was a really nice place. I think we may even stop here on the way back. I'm not sure. Just really convenient, if there's a slot of course, but it's really convenient. Nice and quiet. Of course it's all military, so it's secure. I like their picnic tables. They're nice. They're not in bad shape. Little fire pit here. We didn't use their grill pit. We didn't use it. And of course we have our own stuff, but and then the water turned out really nice. Really impressed with the place though. It's a little bit of woodsy around it. It keeps shaded in the afternoon, which is wonderful. Yeah, turned out to be a nice place. So I'm gonna go ahead and unhook the water and start putting things to get back away slowly. Excuse me, my wife's already started working this morning. She's still working. So while she's doing that, I'm gonna start putting things together, and then yeah, I'll find a truck stop somewhere to stop and get gas and kind of plot the trip out, and then we'll take off. All right, let's get this water disconnected. Alright, we got the slides in, and we're gonna get the shades open, put away, and then we'll fire out the bus. We'll shut everything off, fire out the bus, and then we'll probably go around the corner before we fire up the generator. So for OPSEC reasons, I'm not gonna video the way in and out of the base, but I will video a couple highlights. America. Flag is always a highlight. That's pretty. This is the actual golf course clubhouse. Very nice. Display aircraft. Sorry, I didn't get a very good view. I was going through the chicane there. Scott is an AMC base, so. Alright, so Google Maps, once again, I hate that it changes your route. You pick a route and then decides the other way is faster. But it gave us a spectacular view going the wrong way. Now I'm correcting, getting back over to where I want to go, because I want to go across on 50, not 70. I like the more country back road atmosphere. windows up the top, you can look out. All right, making a left. There, I think. I don't have a map or anything, do you? Right there? It is inside the park. I think. It's the site number 1 right there. Got all dusty coming in there. Good morning, YouTube. I'm being quiet because I'm still in the campground. It's like 5:40 or something like that, and we started loading up and getting ready to go. We had a great visit. You haven't heard much from me, but had a great visit with our friends Tom and Margaret, and so we're about ready to pack it up. Today's gonna be quite the drive. I think it's 7 hours, which will be the longest the bus has run with me. So that should be exciting. Okay, at our stay here, we had lots of electrical problems. I mean, it was crazy. We got here, and I plugged in, and the coach wouldn't work. It's only 30 amp, and we knew that. So I got the dog bone out and plugged it in. Nothing. On my coach, I could tell there was only one side, one phase being lit up. Red and red, red on the forums. I couldn't figure out exactly why mine wouldn't work. So it turns out there's 2 types of dog bones, which I didn't know. There's a dog bone that has a dummy side on it, and I'm talking 50 to 30 amp. There's a dog bone with a dummy side on it, and then there's a dog bone where the 2 leads on each side are connected. And evidently I had the one with the connection on the one side not connected. So it didn't work, and I don't know why they make 2. When I called the camper places around here, they had no idea what I was talking about. But I went up to a camper place, and they had them. It was my buddy took me up there. It was about 30 minutes away or 45 minutes away, but we went up there and they had them, and we took the new dog bone into the back and tested with a meter from the one side to the other side, just to make sure that, of course that's not the right one, that's the 110 one, but just to make sure that the voltage, that there was continuity across the 2, and there was. So I bought those, came back, plugged in, and worked fine. When I was there at the Trails Inn RV park, actually, they had this splitter for taking 50 amp, and then it had 2 30s. Now they also, what I was looking for at the time was a 30 and a 110. I've seen those on the internet or whatever, but the guy there was cool, and he's like, hey man, you shouldn't do that. You should buy the 2 30s and then just pigtail to a 110. That way you have both setups right there built in. So I came back here and I plugged this in, and I plugged that in, and immediately before, I mean, I didn't even touch the thing, and then popped the breaker. So the good park people, the park maintenance people came up, and they just swapped that breaker out for me, and it worked great. It has popped once, but it was raining pretty good when it did it, And I think these are just old boxes, and I think water just leaked in there or something, or leaked right here around it or something. But it seems to be working fine now. So yeah, glad to have well, I'm glad to have that stuff on the bus and ready to go, so when I do run across it in the future, I have all that stuff ready to go. But that was our big electrical drama on this trip. Other than that, we've really only been sleeping in it. We've been out at our friend's house, we've been out with them, lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever, and haven't already been here. We did put the shade down. We did put the shade down for a while, but just to keep the sun off the bus, you know, because it's in the 90s here. Matter of fact, it's like 80 something degrees, 89 degrees, 87 degrees right now, and it's early morning. But yeah, that's our saga. The bus is running fine. There is a switch issue going on, which I don't really understand yet. My coach has these little push button switches in it, which then go to a controller that then make the lights or whatever go on. And right now when I'm hitting it, I'm getting two different lights on one place, or if I hit like a water pump, I'm getting the water heater turned on as well. And that's all through that controller. I've read to unhook the controller and reset it, or rehook it, and it'll reset. So I'm going to try that tonight once I get to the campground that we're going to be staying at tonight. But again, that's 7 hours away, so I might wait till tomorrow. All right, well, that's kind of where we're at. We're going to get this bus out of here. I will tell you that it is really tight here. The trees are right on the road. You know, they built this, you know, I don't know when they built this, but they built it way before they had buses our size or fifth wheels that size, whatever. But you can see, I mean, there's the road, there's this big tree. And I had that problem all along. So if I was to go up here and make this left, which is, I think, the way it was set up, designated, I couldn't make that left to get back around that tree with the rear axle so far back to get around to the dump station. So what I'm going to do is just pull forward up into here, and I'm just going to go straight back, turn up the road, and then drive on out. So that's my plan anyway. We'll see how that works. But okay, well, we're going to get this all packed up and get on the road, try to get a decently early start, and we'll get on down. Down a levee, and then we'll be crossing a bridge here in a bit. We'll check it out here in a bit. Kind of a corner here. 506 06 diesel? Dang. Then you can't get to it. Bridge is a little rough. And small. Goodness gracious. This is tight. Golly, that's tight. Woo! Rough bridge. Barge going underneath. Golly. Barge going down there. Man, you talk about a tight bridge. Wow. Golly. I don't like going across this. It's terrible. Didn't realize the bridge was this bad. Goodness gracious. That's a rough bridge. Seems like just beating like that would be harder on the bridge than because you're pounding it, you know. That was crazy. Park entrance. Fort Defiance State Park. Phew. I think I go over now. We're on the middle island. Oh my gosh. Fort Defiance. Wonder what that was used for. Alright, Ohio River now, into Kentucky. A little bigger, but not much. Goodness gracious, these are rough. Surprised they haven't redone these. This one might have had newer concrete on it. Ohio River. Not much room in there. Man, oh man. Seems like the state could do better than that. The states could do better than that. I went this way a long time ago, but it's been a really long time. Ooh, that's tight. Made it. Alright, we finally made it to Kentucky Dam Campground. Not a lot to see. We're going to try to find our campsite since nobody's here. So, anyway, we'll find our campsite and we'll roll. See you in a bit. Good morning, YouTube. Sorry I haven't been on here much. I should have done a lot more. Especially yesterday was just crazy. We got into this park. Well, we drove well over 8 hours, plus I stopped and talked to a guy for an hour. We got in here and it was over 100 degrees outside, so the bus got super hot. We were both dying. We got in here. This is our slot, 221, that we got given. It's right inside, I don't know, right down from the entrance. I thought it was going to be pretty cool, except for the sun was blaring on it. 220 gets a little bit of shade in the back. But the problem with 221 is the electric and the water for this slot is way over there. So we talked to the camp host. He had come by, and I guess he's brand new because we were told the other guy was fired. So anyway, we asked him if we could do 220 since we're only staying one night. He said sure, and we ended up just backing off the pad all the way back to the water so he could reach it. I mean, we that's the water, and the backside of that pedestal is the plug for this side. I mean, it's like, how do you get there? So basically we asked if we could just move to 220 and use the 50 amp, which we paid for, and he allowed us to do that. So we just backed it up over to here, and that seemed to work out just fine. Kind of odd though that that's the 50 amp slot for buses or whatever, and can't even, I mean, you'd have to have some serious cords to reach. Other than that, it was 100 and something degrees. We drove for about 8 hours, plus the bus ran, or the generator ran, while I was inside. Stopped and saw a military buddy of mine on the way. That's the longest we run the bus. It doesn't like to be run like that, I guess. It was hotter. Well, it was over 100 degrees the whole time, and you could tell the bus was driving 100 degree weather. Yesterday the rear air conditioner fan went out, which was exciting. It has been finicky the entire trip. Well, since we've owned it, actually, since we used it, it's been finicky. So I knew something was coming. I thought it was getting low on Freon, but it died. So there's that. We'll be replacing that. It appears, after working with it for quite some time, that it's the fan. So we'll look at either replacing the rear one or getting a new fan motor. I'm leaning towards replacing them because the newer ones are way more efficient than, I mean, these are 15 years old. So I may just replace the rear and then let the front one go until it dies and then replace it. Because, like I said, new ones are way more efficient. And I'll probably put a 15. I don't even know what those are. I'll have to find out. I found paperwork on them, but it didn't really say what they were. So until I crawl up there and pop the top, I'm not going to know what they are. But I assume that was like a 13.5, and I'm going to want a 15 up there. So we'll work on that in the future here coming up. So we really did camp last night. We shut the back end off, the door, and Melissa and I slept in the front. I slept on the short couch, of course my neck's kinked, and she slept on the other couch, or I slept on the long couch, she slept on the short couch. She probably had the same problem I did. You know, she fits there a lot better than I do, but the long couch I don't fit on either. So she ended up on the floor with the dog, and I slept on the couch most of the night. So here we are in the morning. It's gonna be another 100 and something degree day, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and we really wanted to look around this park, wanted to see the dam and all that, but we're just gonna have to do that on the road. We're gonna try to get home because of the heat. It's gonna be another 100 and something degree day, and we'd like to leave. It's almost 6, so we're gonna try to leave and get home before that heat. One thing I have done is run the sinks, and I just stood there with my foot on the toilet to fill the tanks up a lot more. They do have a dump station, so we're going to go ahead and dump, because this will be it for us on this trip. And then we're just going to try and make our way home. It has been a good trip. I'll tell you, I have enjoyed my entire time, even though obviously because I didn't do much video. Yeah, it definitely has been relaxing, other than the fact that the air conditioner went out and I was trying to figure that out or whatever, and then the power thing, trying to figure that out. But other than those two circumstances, which I needed to go through, to be honest with you, because now I really understand that stuff, it's been a good trip. All right, so we're trying to leave, and now my air brake lever is leaking. So I have taken it apart, and all I had is oil and transmission fluid, so I put oil on it. And I'm going to test it here in a second. The air is building back up, and hopefully it doesn't leak by and we can make it home. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. I got no other wheels. It's common for these to go bad. Well, not common for them to go bad, but they do go bad. So there's a seal and a O-ring in there. I just lubed them up, and I lubed the casing inside there up, so we'll see if that gets us by. And it doesn't, it's just leaking by. All right, so I got some figuring out to do. All right, YouTube. Hey, I'm still here at Kentucky Dam and in the campground, and it turns out that it's an ABS module that was bad. Daniel's here saving me. Appreciate you, Daniel.
Thank you.
But he's putting in the new ABS module, and will get going, and then I'll head on back home. So interesting day. All right, I'll check back in later. Oh man. All right, so that didn't work. Oh, we're upside down. Why are you upside down? All right, we're upside down. All right, so he, Daniel, replaced the ABS modulator, and now we're doing the CR valve.
Yes,
CR valve, which I think equalizes the pressure. But anyway, that could be the other problem. The last could be the button. I took the button apart, greased it up, so we're just kind of waiting to see what this will do. Hopefully this does the trick. I'll let you know. We'll be back. All right, that's awesome. He got it fixed. Spins just fine. It's not leaking anymore. Crazy. What part? What, that was like a $53 part or something? I know that was 100 and something, but a $53 part. Stopped the bus in its tracks. Crazy. Well, there you go. I'll be catching up with you a bit. I'm going to let him jack this down. You want to go ahead and pull the brakes on it? Yeah.
I'll put that jack down.
And then I'll dump the sewer. Then I'm going to take a shower. And then we're going to hit the road and head home. Got it? No, all right. So I got the trash out, went and took a shower. We're just sitting here running. The front air conditioner now won't come back on, but the rear one's on now, which is crazy because I can get the rear one back on before. I don't know what's going on now. I wonder if it isn't that daggone module there, but I'll have to figure that out when I get home. The biggest thing is, let's get home. So we're about 4 hours out, so we're gonna take off and head down the road. Hopefully my brakes hold up fine. They seem to be. Everything's holding, so we should be good to go. So I'm gonna fire up this rig, eat this sandwich that's sitting right here, and get home. There she is. It's not flowing, is it? At all. Huh. Well, it is over there in the electric plant, but a little bit. God, I wish fishing right up in there. I'm surprised they let them fish that close. Hi YouTube, so it's 1:30 in the morning and we have finally arrived. I did get my tires muddy. I mean, it rained like crazy. I'm gonna have to get those washed up, but it rained like crazy here. I guess they had a big huge rain, and so yeah, everything's wet, but yeah, we survived. We made it. So I'm gonna download the fridge and put everything away, and then go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow. Man, what a trip.